Now, Sports Talk with Brodes. Here's Hunter Brody.
Before we start this podcast, I want to let everyone know that I am doing a giveaway to celebrate Daryl Morey being hired as the president of basketball operations. All you need to do is go to my Twitter, @Brodes81, and go retweet my pinned tweet and follow me. That's it. It's so simple. Go check that out for a chance to win a 76ers 47 hat. What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Sports Talk with Brodes. As always, we are broadcasting live from the beautiful and outstanding Manscaped Man Cave. Now, before we jump into this Football Friday, I need to let you know about what Manscaped can bring to the table. We all know about their beautiful Lawnmower 3.0, which is the best ball button body razor that you can find with the ceramic blade and skin-safe technology. Well, guess what? There is the new Weed Whacker, which trims those nose hairs of yours, the nose and ear hair trimmer with the same skin-safe technology. Don't forget about the Crop Care Kit. Listen to this. You want ball deodorant? Come on, everybody knows that pumpkin spice lattes and ball deodorant goes hand in hand. The Crop Cleanser Body Wash, a full body wash that you can also use on your hair. And they also have the Crop Mop Ball Wipes. You never know when the opportunity strikes, so you should always be prepared. You can go to manscaped.com. Use promo code BROD for 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD. So just tremendous items all around from Manscaped. Now let's dive into the juiciness. Oh, what's that? There really isn't any? It's Friday and there still isn't any juice? That's because all the weasels, all those Dallas Cowboys weasels that we are accustomed to hearing all week long during Cowboys week, and even when it's not Cowboys week, here in South Jersey and the Philadelphia area, you hear a ton of those frauds, those horrendous frauds that live in the area and never stepped foot in Dallas, and they're Cowboys fans because their dad put a helmet on their dresser when they were younger and they fell in love with the star, or in the 80s and the 90s, it was the only team on TV and they fell in love with them, or they had a poster and they fell in love with the star. Whatever the case is, all those frauds around here sure have shut the hell up so far this season because they're a trash organization at the moment. They have no identity. They're brutal. They're blowing up inside their own locker room. And the fans are doing it too. That's what's hilarious. But it's taking it away from me. It's taking away what the rivalry is all about. Now, to be fair, I actually enjoy them experiencing hell. I enjoy all these Cowboy fans living with pain and suffering. Sports suffering, not legit suffering. But sports suffering, knowing that Jerry Jones is a joke and hearing him tell all sorts of radio personalities to shut up so he can answer the questions. To me, that's awesome. But my selfishness that's involved, I want this to matter. Even if the Cowboys were 2-5, but they were battling, they were competing, they were fighting for one another. And this goes way deeper than DiNucci having to play a football game compared to Dak Prescott being in the mix. It doesn't help them that they are on their third string quarterback, but the problems and the issues defensively and whatever's being said about the coaching staff, no matter if Dak Prescott's playing or not, these players do not believe in the new head coach and the new system, and that's a problem from an organizational standpoint. It takes it away from me, though. I want intense conversation Monday through Friday, and hell, you can even throw Saturday and Sunday morning in the mix because of a beautiful matchup. But the problem is, you're not going to get that. I love the hatred. The hatred is something that you should acknowledge as a phenomenal thing. But it's not there, and it's not there because the brutal Dallas Cowboys fans have their mouths zipped because they know they don't have a chance. And a lot of them gave up on the Cowboys as if they don't even watch. They don't care to watch. They'll do other things on their Sunday night. They don't even want to comprehend the abysmal play that's happening. It's like out of sight, out of mind to them. Oh, the Dallas Cowboys who? Oh, I don't know who they are. Oh, that's nice. Some fans, they are. But here you go. Look, there's no way, right? When you look at this, there's no way that the Eagles fall to DiNucci and this Cowboys team that are letting people go and they're trading guys they just signed. It's an embarrassment all around where they are at. But there's no way the Eagles can lose. There's one way. I take that back. There's one way. That's if they come unprepared and not focused. If they believe that they are just going to walk all over this team, which realistically they should believe that, but if they fail to execute because they think it's going to be a cakewalk, even though it probably is going to be a cakewalk, you got to come with the right mentality and the proper mindset to go out there and play and compete. You got to just execute the game plan, do it at an efficient rate, and don't worry about how much they stink. Don't worry about how much they blow, but focus on playing good football. Focus on getting together as a unit, offensively, getting some guys back. Jalen Reagor, possibly Dallas Goedert. It's possible. But as of right now, this is way before the Friday injury report comes out. You're feeling more optimistic that Dallas Goedert is going to be ready to rock and roll soon, but he's up in the air. Jalen Reagor, though, being a factor. A couple of days ago, I talked about this offensive line, and I said, I can't imagine a situation where Mailata is not playing left tackle. He's your left tackle at this point. And the same day, boom, you get thrown a curveball that Jason Peters is that left tackle, and because Lane Johnson wasn't practicing, although he was limited on Thursday, this was on Wednesday before they practiced. On Wednesday, Lane Johnson wasn't there, so they put Mailata at right tackle. That's something that makes sense to me. I know some might be unhappy with that, but this is your best line. If Lane Johnson, let's say Lane Johnson is not in the mix, and he's going to try and go Sunday, but you just don't know what that actually means. And if you ask me, if Jason Peters is available to play left tackle, Mailata can play right tackle, I would prefer Lane Johnson to sit because I feel he needs as much rest as possible when it comes to the ankle, when it comes to the other injury that came into play from being forced to play a week ago. I'd rather Lane Johnson get this week and a bye week to relax so he can be more powerful and lethal when he returns after that bye week when the Eagles play the New York Giants at MetLife Stadium. So with that being said, while I get the frustration that Mailata is not playing left tackle, if Lane isn't playing, I can support Jason Peters, Herbig, Kelsey, Pryor, Mailata. The thing that makes no sense to me, though, is how many times do we hear that they don't like to move pieces around on the offensive line because they want to make sure that players stay in their same spots? Well, if that's the case, you would think Mailata would be playing a left tackle. At right guard, you'd have Jason Peters, and then you would have Matt Pryor playing that right tackle spot, so you're not moving all of these pieces. You know, they consistently talk about that, yet the execution on it is never really there. They always seem to be juggling a bunch of stuff and moving guys around, and maybe that's the nature of the beast of when you have this many injuries on the offensive line. You got to find ways to get the most out of what you have available, so it's not like they're completely healthy and they're trying to move pieces around for no reason. The reason why they go down this road is because guys keep falling and going down and they need someone to pick it up. But I do think this is the strongest one. This is their strongest possible line if Mailata is playing right tackle and JP is playing left. My frustration will clearly come out, though, if JP is your guy moving forward and Mailata becomes this swing tackle. That's where I would get annoyed, and I feel the organization possibly will do that based off the fact that they did pay Jason Peters more money. They did give him more because he was fighting, hey, I'm playing left tackle now, I'm not a guard, I deserve more money. Well, how are they going to justify to the fans, yeah, we paid him more money and we're going to put him back at right guard? It's a bad look, it's a tough look, and knowing how they care so much about how they look, and that's why they hold back information and things like that, well, they would probably go down a path like that, and that would bother the living hell out of me. But if Lane Johnson is there, if Mailata is not playing because Jason Peters is playing left tackle, that's where it would eat me alive, and I would be so confused on what they are doing. It wouldn't make a lick of sense. You got a 7th-round kid who came in here after never playing football before. Guy. I shouldn't say kid. A guy. Who can manhandle the hell out of me, I'm sure, if he ever knew that I called him a kid. But he's been playing fine. Bumps along the way, sure. But how do you expect to get better? Oh, I know. You continue to play. You get more experience. You take more snaps. You lose a couple battles. What do? You get back up and you learn from it. You watch film. You experience these lethal playmakers on the other side. When you go up against these edge rushers and they know what the hell they're doing and they're really working you, the only way to get better is by doing that. If he's not going to be playing, I'm going to be so pissed off. But staying with some positive stuff, the fact that guys are getting healthier and coming back and returning, I can't wait to see what Jalen Reagor is all about. And I heard Jeff Mosher of Inside the Birds talk about how, look, if he's playing, he's playing. No snap count. You're not going to be worried about, well, is he going to be fatigued? Is he going to be tired? And with the way Jalen Reagor has come back from all these injuries, I would expect him to be a guy that has zero conditioning problems because what the hell? The guy's coming back from thumb surgery, it seems, in 2 weeks, and it could have been 1 week, it could have been 4 days, it could have been 2 days. I think it was only 1 day. I don't know if it was even 24 hours. The guy just heals insanely. His body is probably fully conditioned. He's probably too conditioned at this point where the coaching staff is mad at him and wants him to get in worse shape because he's in too good a shape because that's what Jalen Reagor is to this point. But I can't wait to see him back in this offense. Even with that first week, we were questioning if he was going to be available, and that kind of ruined the buzz for me. We ended up having him, and that made more buzz. It generated more buzz, but him not being available, it sucks. I want to see what the kid is all about, and I think he's got a unique skill set that can be very beneficial to Carson Wentz, to Travis Fulgham, to everybody else involved with this entire offense. No snap count, though. That is big because I thought that there would be a possibility of it. Here's a guy who hasn't played in a while, coming back from the thumb. And I guess maybe I'm so used to having this conversation with someone like Miles Sanders. And I know I just went from negative with the offensive line in the Jason Peters story to positive with Jalen Reagor. And I'm about to go negative real quick because this Miles Sanders thing, I don't know if it's getting enough recognition. I don't know if we're talking about it enough. And it's not his fault. I'm not mad at him for being banged up and being injured. But didn't we talk about Miles Sanders heading into the season as if he was going to be the best playmaker for this team, as if he was not your best offensive weapon, yet he's not there for you. He is not on the sidelines for you. Constantly nicked up. Constantly can't play. When he can play, we're hearing that he's fatigued. We're hearing that he's not conditioned. From him, from the head coach, he's not getting the ball in certain areas. Remember there was the back stretch of a game where your best running back is not on the field, and here goes Doug Peterson running the ball around, and he's not even out there. He's not even getting touches late in the game. We questioned maybe it had something to do with the fumbles. He has fumbled in his career. Maybe the coaching staff doesn't trust him late in the ball games. But this is a guy who we all anticipated to have such a huge role, and because of all the major injuries going on, and there's so many, you're so overwhelmed, and because guys are actually returning, it's leaving people optimistic. Here's the Miles Sanders story just slipping through the cracks, and I feel it should get way more discussion than it is. He's been underwhelming. When he's out there, yeah, no doubt he's being explosive. He's running 70 yards to the house. He's making plays. But my problem is he's not out there enough. Seriously, go back in time. Think about what we were saying. We were saying that this guy is your best dog, your top dog, your best playmaker. Come on. I need more out of him. I need him to be available. What he's giving you when he's available is there. How about this storyline? Will Parks possibly on the trade block because you got a little bit of too many people at the safety position. Epps, Wallace, Ford, Mills, McLeod. Will Parks on the trading block. Interesting. I don't really know what to think of that. they're going to have to make a move. Look, guys are returning from this IR, 3-week minimum IR stuff, and you're getting activated to the 21-day practice window. So you got to make room for these players on the roster. Will Parks, I think he can be something with this team. I think he can give you good play. Not only that, you know how much he loves this city. You see how vocal he is about Philadelphia as a whole. Maybe he's a piece that you can actually work with for more than just this season. Maybe this is a guy you can actually play a role in this city on this team for more than 1 year. Can you get rid of somebody else? Can you try and keep it and go another route? Maybe they think, all right, let's see if we get something for him. If we can get something for him and get something in return, then we'll get rid of him and we'll stick with other guys. But if no one bites on Will Parks, then we'll just move somebody else and we'll keep Will Parks. Maybe it's like they're just dangling him out front of people like, all right, are we getting anything? Are we getting anything? Okay, no? All right, maybe we'll move another piece instead because we do like Will Parks. We just want to test the market and see what is possible. Now, there's rumors about the Eagles buying, and I know that gets people all pissed off, but buying, the word buying is too broad. If they go out and get a linebacker and they don't give up much, okay, all right. I don't see where they're just giving up on this team's future and they're giving up on some of these younger assets that they can get down the road with draft picks just to make a little bit of noise this season when they're going to win the division with maybe 6 wins. I don't think they're just going to go out on a limb and start getting rid of all their first-round draft picks to go out and buy because they have a good chance of winning the division. No, but you can still add a little something here, a little something there to give you that extra push. I don't think they're going to do anything that's going to move the ceiling for me. The ceiling where I see the Eagles at now, their top, tippy-top ceiling, if they were to get healthy, is 1 win in the playoffs because they'd have a home playoff game, and it's possible they play a team like the Chicago Bears or something of that nature where they can win that matchup at home. That's their tippy-top ceiling. If they go out and get a linebacker, do I think that makes them a 2 playoff win team? Possibly. No. But would I be against going out and still getting that linebacker? No. I would be okay with it. I would not be against it. I would still be okay with it because look at what you have right now at the moment. And Nate Gary, by the way, was on the injury report on Thursday's practice with a did not practice. So maybe it's Alex Singleton and TJ Edwards. Maybe that's the combination that's going to be dialed up. We shall see. By the way, I want to let you know about my friends at DraftKings. DraftKings has brought their expertise to legal sports betting. It's a legitimate sports book based right here in the U.S., so you can rest assured that your funds are totally secure. DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is safe, secure, and reliable. Deposit and withdrawal at your convenience. Listen to this deal. It is just outrageous. All new users have a chance to earn a sign-up bonus up to $1,000. Download the app and sign up using promo code BRODES, BRODES. Head to the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and check out all that they have to offer, including player props, live betting, and so much more. If sportsbooks are not yet available in your state, don't forget the DraftKings Fantasy app, which offers millions of dollars in total prizes every single week. And if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. So some other things to point out before we take a couple anytime hotline calls. Malik Jackson was limited on Thursday. The DLine should eat. Without a doubt, the defensive line should be able to eat. Make DiNucci very uncomfortable. It sucks because in terms of X's and O's and what you should do here, and now the Eagles are going to be able to succeed. The Dallas Cowboys blow so much. I don't think we really need to go through the X's and O's and matchups in this game. The matchup is simple. The Eagles should be able to destroy this team. I know the Cowboys have offensive weapons. Zeke, Amari Cooper, Gallup, CeeDee Lamb. Who's going to get them the ball? And you know what? So let's say somehow, some way, DiNucci gets a couple points up on the board. How are they going to stop this offense? I was talking to a couple of my buddies, and they were like, oh, Eagles victory, because we have like an Eagles group chat, right? Eagles victory this Sunday incoming. And I was like, okay, of course. That's not breaking news. 24-21. Whoa. If the Eagles only score 24 points on this team, am I disappointed? Yeah, probably. If the Eagles allow 21 points on DiNucci, am I pissed off? Yeah, probably. While a win is a win, and people do get more disappointed than they should be, it really doesn't matter. My point of bringing that up is, they get more disappointed based off of how it looks, and I think there's value in how it looks, but at the end of the day, this is the NFL, and winning these games is all that matters, especially when you're not that great of a team like the Eagles. They're not that great of a team. They just have a good shot because of how bad the NFC East is. So with that being said, you got to make the most of these opportunities. You got to win that game. So I would be okay with a win no matter how ugly it looks, no matter if it's a 1-point game with a field goal at the end. I'll pick it apart and I'll be ruthless with describing my feelings on the game, but ultimately, deep down, I will appreciate the fact that they still got the win in a division where they need to get these division wins, because that is ultimately going to be the difference in how they win this division or not. I would be disappointed, though, in the look of it. 24-21. Like, I should be able to see more. This Eagles team is not great by any means. I don't even know if they're good. But this Cowboys team isn't. Historic defense. Absolute trash defense. How is Fulgham, Jalen Reagor, and these players not going to be options? They're going to be options. They're going to be open. Greg Ward. And you're not running Browns out there on the offensive line. You're not running Opetas out there on the offensive line. Can Jason Peters stay available? Great question. Can you rely on him? Great question. What if JP goes down? Mailata moves to left tackle. Who's playing right tackle? What's going to happen then? That could be an issue, and that could be a realistic problem. Jason Peters, come on, you've seen him. And not only that, not even just the injury side of things. You've seen him when he was healthy. And it wasn't the Jason Peters in his prime. I could tell you that for free. All right, let's take a couple of these anytime hotline calls and hear your thoughts on this game.
What's up, bros? So the other day you were looking at why the Eagles are where they are. And there were a couple options. There were injuries, and there was the coaching staff. And those are the two I'm going to go with. Because I think that it's really something you didn't really look at. It wasn't an option you had. And I think it's that the coaching staff, yes, they're failing on game day, but they're also failing in preparation. The NovaCare fucking sucks. Fuck the NovaCare. Injuries are the main issue. And I think injuries and preparation, how prepared these guys are with their ligaments, with their body. I think that the NovaCare and the team management they are failing right there. And that is the biggest issue this season. Beyond with all the other issues we have, those are the biggest ones. Just that coaching staff, that Howie Roseman with their bodies, making sure that they're right. And the NovaCare fucking sucks. Go Birds.
All right. Thank you so much for the call. And that just describes, by the way, where this week really is. Because if this was a week where the Dallas Cowboys were relevant and they actually had a chance to win this football game, I'm sure that the Anytime Hotline would be dialed up and locked and loaded with so many Cowboys fans, so many Eagles fans ready to go, freaking hell, let's go Birds, right? Going nuts, going crazy. And the first call I take, and it's no fault to his own, I really appreciate the call. I'm not taking a knock on the caller whatsoever. This is just showing you where we are this week. The first call is about a podcast I made maybe 3 or 4 days ago about what is the problem with this, 2-4-1 football team? 2-4-1, yeah, 2-4-1 football team. No, it's a good call. In terms of NovaCare being the problem, though, I personally can't go down that road. This is happening all over football. It is ridiculous how much it's happening in Philadelphia, but preparing their ligaments, I mean, You're telling me that these players aren't stretching? I find that very hard to believe that the NFL and their trainers and their strength and conditioning coaches don't have these players stretching or doing the right things. We actually had a doctor on 97.3 ESPN, and he was breaking down how some of these athletes these days, and because of where we are when it comes to training, they're honestly so damn strong and so damn athletic that they're tearing their ligaments apart based off of how good we have gotten with the training. They're too powerful for their own bodies, and that could be a big part of this. I'm not downplaying that it's annoying that the last handful of seasons has been injury after injury after injury after injury, but in terms of like NovaCare doing this or whatever the case may be, I don't know. It's hard for me to go down that road and say, they're not properly training their ligaments. It's just sports. It's playing football. It's playing football without the training camp, without the preseason, getting thrown into the mix, and then playing football in the National Football League. Look at what's happening to the 49ers over and over and over again. Name a running back. He's out next week. Next running back, who tears it up, by the way. They plug and play in that position all the time. But here's another running back hurt. Wide receiver hurt. Quarterback hurt. Look what happened to the Cowboys. As much as we want to rip them for just being pathetic, offensive line just getting hurt, quarterbacks getting hurt, pieces in general for the Cowboys getting hurt. It's all around the league. We just focus on it more because of, it's the Eagles and we care about them. We are emotionally tied to them, so we take more account when this stuff happens. We heavily criticize it more because, this is our team. But I'm not trying to make it seem like there isn't something there. I mean, there's something there because constantly they are getting hurt. I just don't know if I'm going to start dropping F-bombs towards NovaCare. I don't know. That's just me personally, though.
All right, here's my take on this game. There's going to be one determining factor that decides the outcome of this one, in my opinion. And it's a question that nobody as a fan can answer. And that's really this. Does Dallas feel like playing? Have they truly quit on McCarthy and on the season? If Dallas has a little pride, especially after the embarrassment of last week and the Monday night game against Arizona, I think the Eagles are going to be hard-pressed to win this game. I think it's going to come right down to the wire. I think the Eagles win, but I think it's going to be tougher than a lot of the fans seem to think. I mean, this is the same Eagle team that was a drop pass away from losing to the Giants at home. We're not a juggernaut. And again, if Dallas feels like playing hard, this game may be tougher than Eagle fans think.
The thing about the Giants, though, is while the Giants are a bad football team, they are a structured football team. Joe Judge coming in there, they're disciplined. They have a new sense of urgency. They have, they're disciplined in terms of, having a new coach. There's fire lit there. They're playing as a group. They're not a great group. They're not a very talented group, but they play for their coach. They like the new atmosphere. It's a tougher atmosphere, but the guys are more locked in than they ever have been before. You said if the Cowboys want to play and if they come ready to play, what have they shown you to this point that says that's going to happen? They are on DiNucci. If they won't even stand up for Andy Dalton after getting cheap-shotted, are they going to stand up for DiNucci, or are they going to start laughing when the guy struggles? Are they going to start thinking, dude, really? I mean, are we really going into a game with DiNucci right now? Sort of mocking it. Because I would tend to lean towards that. This Cowboys team has given up. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. Before it got to the point of it is now, they were already having plenty of pieces talking about, it was one specifically, but talking about how they don't need to work hard every play. This is the NFL. We could take plays off. Really? Think about that. Just let that settle in. We could take plays off. Yeah. This is the NFL. We could take plays off. We don't have to go 100% all the time. That's losing mentality. That is a losing mindset. How do you turn the page from that? How do you turn the page from what they are right now? Especially when you don't have a quarterback. If Dak was playing, I think it's a different scenario. As bad as it may seem, you have your quarterback. Imagine going into a game with someone worse than Nate Sudfeld. Might be the same as Nate Sudfeld, but probably worse than Nate Sudfeld. I don't know. I don't say it.
First off, I just want to say that this game should not be a Sunday night game. The Steelers and Ravens should be the Sunday night game, but I digress. The first key of the game is simple. The defensive line needs to completely take advantage of Dallas's offensive line. I don't want to see Ben DiNucci have any time to throw. Less than 5 sacks is unacceptable to me. The second key of the game for me is simple. Take advantage of Dallas's defense. They have the worst defense in the entire league. Reagor might be back. Let's test these new corners and throw deep bombs to Reagor, Hightower, and Fulgham, and we should be able to run all over them, even though Miles Sanders should be out. The Cowboys are a team that's absolutely imploding. You have the coaching staff saying the players didn't stand up for Andy Dalton, well, Mike McCarthy in particular. You see Jerry Jones telling radio hosts to shut up and let him answer. And you see players anonymously bashing the coaching staff to the media. There is no excuse whatsoever that the Eagles should lose this game.
I'd be stunned, honestly. I'd be stunned. And I know I've been wrong many times before, especially this season, but I would be truly shocked. They opened up at like a 6.5-point favorite, and now they're a 9.5-point favorite. Do I know if they're going to cover the spread or not? I don't know. And to be honest with you, I don't care about covering the spread. But when you see a 9-point spread or so, it's telling you that this team is not going to lose. They're not going to lose. They're not going to lose. And what I was doing when we were listening to that caller, I was sort of looking at, there was a stat that I saw from Sheil Kapadia from The Athletic, and it was about Javon Hargrave and what he has brought to the table this year, and he's been underwhelming. He hasn't ranked very high when it comes to getting that pressure and making noise, and when it comes to the run game, pass game, like he hasn't been very strong whatsoever, and that is concerning. We talked about him as a very important piece to the puzzle, and with Malik Jackson being limited, while the defensive line as a whole is one of their strongest suits, that is something that concerns me, is Javon Hargrave's play. We need more out of him. Now, in this specific matchup, all these players should be able to eat against this offensive line right now and DiNucci. And I expect Jim Schwartz to make sure he's very uncomfortable, put a ton of pressure on him and say, beat us. You have to make a proper decision within seconds and you have no NFL experience. Beat us. Good luck beating us. And I expect the Eagles defense to be a force. Stunned. I would be stunned if they lose this game. I'm not expecting it to be insanely pretty because, as I mentioned, this Eagles team is not very good. But I know how bad this Cowboys team is. So a team that's not very good should be able to look okay. There'll be bad moments. But look what the Washington football team looked like last week. Come on. If they could look like that, can the Eagles look better than that? I would say yes. I would definitely say yes. Once again, it's not going to be all pretty. There might be some things that look a little ugly at times, just based off of the Eagles not being the best team in the world. But it should look decent for majority of it. Whew. Here we go. Very disappointing Dallas Cowboys week, though. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what happens on Friday. We're going to see and wait for the injury report. Jalen Reagor, a go. That's phenomenal. Dallas Goedert, we're going to wait. Lane Johnson, we're going to wait. And that offensive line, we'll see how it all plays out. I support Jason Peters being at left tackle if Lane Johnson's not there and Mailata's playing right tackle, but I don't if Lane Johnson's available. If Lane Johnson's available, Mailata should be at the left side, and Jason Peters should be your right guard. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you next time.